Good morning. Let's see, I think it's streaming. I click go. Yeah, I think it's streaming. Hey, good morning. How you doing? It's a Tuesday, not a Monday. I hope you got my story yesterday. I posted my first story on YouTube. I don't really get it yet, but I did it. Maybe it helps. Maybe we can use it somehow for our community. But without further ado, let's do gold and oil, dollar pairs, yen pairs, yen pairs. Me and you. Let's change the world. Thank you for clicking like. I appreciate that. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. But please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Ni hao ma. Good to see you. Happy day. Happy Tuesday. Super Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Impeachment Tuesday. This is the best impeachment since Clinton. Anyways. Hey, good to see you. Good morning. So today, yeah, we will cover dollar pairs, yen pairs, gold, and oil. Realign our satellites. I hope you enjoyed your day off yesterday. Right? As you probably know or should know, my policy over the last 15 years or so has been to not trade on days where the U.S. markets are closed. Just there's less traders. If there's less traders, technical analysis is less predictable, and I look at that as risk. Okay. Peter says there's no day off in the Netherlands. That's right. The Dutch will have to work all day, every day to bail out the Germans. So anyways, hey, ask questions, get involved, participate in the chat, treat your fellow Forex traders with the dignity and respect they deserve, because this is our profession and this is our global office. And Forex.Today is where we gather as a community. I will teach you technical analysis, fundamental analysis, with the overriding goal of teaching how to plan your trades in advance. Okay, so we're not interested in what's happening now. We're interested in what's likely to happen later today, or really more like tomorrow and the rest of the week. So we will do that. We can also go through the calendar if you want. I think maybe we should do that, although my PC is like ridiculously slow right now. Something is really slowing it down. But if we haven't met, my name is Wayne. I'm a currency trader. Been doing this a long time, so that's why I'm here to share. So like I said, get involved. I call it participation. Participate, and then put it to good use. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for Traders Way. So if you do appreciate these webinars, please visit tradersway.com and pay it back. Open up a demo account now. Test out the execution speed. Check out the spreads. Check out the swaps. And then one day, when you're ready to trade real money, maybe because of these webinars, you'll choose Traders Way as the prime broker to your new successful Forex trading business. So, pa-chow. You ready? You guys ready to go? Let's get her done. Okay, what would you like me to cover? While you do that, let me bring up the calendar. Ask Keb Tao. Ask support. All right. So let's, you know what? Let's do this. Here, I'm already here, so let's just do this. All right. So this is this week. Okay. One of the things I like about this calendar is I can check out next week. Isn't that awesome? I like that. Right off the bat, even though it's Tuesday, you should always be looking ahead. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, today's first day of Davos. Alex says anything with Swissy because of Davos. What? Hey, Keb, ask support. Why would I know that? Anyways. By the way, yeah, I don't own Trader's Way. So don't confuse the thing. All right. So check it out. So we have Davos going. Trump's already done his speech. Great. Okay. Okay, let's start with tomorrow. Bank of Canada adjusting interest rates, looking at CPI as well. Okay, very, very interesting day for the kitty cat. Again, we're going to find out how much inflation they do or do not have. And we're going to find out what the Bank of Canada is thinking. Will they raise? Do they cut? All this kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, Kev, just contact support. Ask them. You got it, man. Yeah, but yeah, and AML stuff is really hardcore on planet Earth these days. Anyways, so let's start with Bank of Canada tomorrow. You should probably be planning that today. Maybe you could go to the Bank of Canada website and find out what they're thinking, what they're worried about. Read some meeting minutes. Maybe read last month's the previous monetary policy report. There's lots of things you could be doing here on the Bank of Canada website. Okay, and then in the evening in the Asian session, straight on to Aussie dollar. And again, what do we care about when it comes to economies? Well, inflation and economic activity, which would be, translated to jobs. So like jobs and inflation, yeah, awesome, right? Right? Amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. So we know commodity currencies are likely to move soon. Okay. Then on to Thursday, ECB. Well, that just might affect the euro, right? So like we got some mega news here that are like when you look at interest rate, well, it's not even the interest rate. It's the potential change in policy by this central bank and their discussion of inflation, not inflation, economic activity, not economic activity. All of this is like in of itself going to move the value of the Canadian dollar, and then right on to, inflation and jobs out of Australia. That's once again directly going to change the value of the Aussie. And then you go straight into the next day, ECB. I mean, this, right? Once again, this event at 7:45 a.m. New York time on Thursday, in of itself, will change the value of the euro. Right? Then we move on, right past the press conference. Then we get into inflation out of New Zealand, right? And then we go right into monetary policy meeting minutes out of Japan. Like, this is a heavily laden week, right? News events likely to change the value, not economic analysis per se, but individual news events. Okay? And then Friday, what do we look at? CAD retail sales and stuff, but we already did CAD, so I don't know. So, anyways, very very heavily laden week. Okay. How about a list of what to look for? Nothing. There's nothing in Davos that's going to do anything. Okay. Maybe you guys are not that familiar with Davos, but it's where wealthy people go to talk about how important they are. Okay, so I want to remind you something. Let's boil this down since I got this calendar. Okay, let's get right to the heart of it. The thing that's going to change the value of a currency is a central bank changing its policy. Okay? News events, news releases, news is just news. There's nothing at Davos that is going to change the value of a global currency. Okay? It's news, it's interesting, right? But it's really a bunch of boring speeches highlighted by a bunch of parties. Okay? Okay? So nothing at Davos is going to do anything. So someone, Javier asked just now, and someone else said earlier, like, let's look at all the Swissy pairs because of Davos. No, no. Okay? So once again, all these little bits of news, like on this calendar, Euro news, Swissy news, right? Pound news, Aussie news, CAD news. These are all, not all, but let's say the vast majority of these things on the calendar are just data points in an economic data set. Okay? There's inflation. How much inflation? This much inflation. How much has it changed over time? Well, we used to have this much inflation. Now we have this much inflation, but the rate of which it's going down is changing, and all this kind of stuff, right? How much inflation? What was it before? Where is it going? How fast is it changing? How many jobs do we have? How many jobs did we have? What's the trend in those jobs? How fast is the trend changing or not changing? Or what would we like? Blah, 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 blah. The central bank then interprets all this stuff coming in, and maybe once every few years, depending on, right, they go, they lick their finger and they go, maybe we should adjust our policy. And that's all that matters. Okay? That's all that matters. So when, like, a thing like Davos where a bunch of people get together and talk to each other and do press conferences, and I don't even think is Marriott going to sit down, like the CEO of Marriott's there, right? Just one of many. And I was thinking about, like, why are they there? Well, they have a global brand and global presence. Okay, good. Like, but are they really going to, like, go to some party, after party, and get together with a competitor and maybe discuss buying them? Or are they going to get with someone that they could co-brand with, like LVMH, and say, hey, let's make a Louis Vuitton hotel. Well, there's already a Louis Vuitton hotel in Dubai, but let's make a Dom Perignon hotel. Like, not like, I don't know if the CEO of Marriott would actually do anything. Even if it did, would it change the value of the dollar? No. Okay. Or there's another one. Like, I remember back when Japan and China were fighting over an island, and it was getting a lot of press, and people were like, oh my God, is the value of the yen going to change? I'm like, not unless they throw missiles at each other and start killing each other, right? And only if there's a war and like bullets are flying, then that would impact the value of a currency. But other than that, if it doesn't impact the central bank's policy, then it doesn't impact Forex. Okay? So you might find Davos interesting, but it's not going to change the value of the Swiss franc. Not because of a speech, not because of it being located in Switzerland. Like, no, right? So if you had to cut fat out of your life and just simplify, all you care about are things like this. The monetary policy report out of Canada. Okay? Their decision, their decision, their statement, okay, and their reasoning. And most importantly, not this decision, because that's already priced in, right? Okay. Okay. What is the policy? What will the policy be? How has the policy changed? If or when will the policy change? But that's all that matters. Okay, Bank of Canada interest rate decision, European Central Bank interest rate decision, but not to the decision, not what just happened or on that day. Like it's not Wednesday and Thursday that matter. It's what is interpreted on Wednesday and Thursday to happen in the next meeting in the future. We're not even interested in this stuff today because we already priced that in. Okay, like for example, do you remember how to use the Fed Watch page? And I look at the prices between loans that banks are giving to each other, right? The actual money between smart investors, right? A bank lending another bank money. And in that negotiation, they put in their assumption for future interest rates, right? So like it's already done. That is already done. These meetings are actually done. What we want to read is the statement, and which is the reasoning, right? Or read the report, which again is more reasoning, to say what will the Bank of Canada do in the future, not on Wednesday, but in 8 weeks from now. You see what I mean? Same thing out of ECB. We've already priced that in. Like, is Lagarde going to do a good job or a bad job? That's what we're interested in now. All right? I thought she was going to be a kick butt central banker, but now when I hear that she wants to tie in central banking with the environment, I hate her. Like, if that's where she's going, I hate that. Like, oh my God, I am anti that kind of thought process. Okay, I love the environment. I live on Earth too, but I don't need a central banker to tie money into it. So, right, like, oh my God, it's just money. It's only money, guys. It's only money. Okay, so if she's going to complicate things, I'm not a fan of that. So, anyways, that's what all of this is about. That's what changes the value. Okay. So awesome week, but it could be choppy because these are all very important news, sort of back to back to back to back to back. Okay. Now I was thinking about doing a week where I take my swing trading group and teach them how to day trade. I think I'm going to do this maybe the second or third week of February. I'm going to plan together like a proper training course. Tie it all together and record it with the swing trading group and then maybe release it as a separate thing. So I'll keep you abreast of that. But I was thinking about it, doing it this week a couple of weeks ago, and then I realized the calendar is just packed with all this noise, and that would not be good for day trading anyways. Okay. Wayne, you said the yen would be strong on profit taking. When is that likely to end? Well, first of all, I don't know which one you're talking about, but that was 2 weeks ago, if you're talking about the first leg. Then the second one is the false rally, okay? And then, so we're done the false rally. So now we're potentially on the next leg, right? So we'll see. It's going to come down to things like this now. What happens today actually will be important with that logic and reasoning. Okay? Okay? This is going to be very, 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 very important Okay, this is what I'm looking at for next. Okay. Very, 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 very important. Okay. Where can I find the loans banks lend each other? FedWatch. Go type in to Google FedWatch, and it'll pull it up. And then if you don't know how to do it, try to find it on YouTube because I've taught it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Okay. All right. Cool. So this is what I'm looking for from the yen pairs. Okay. Okay. Swing traders would recognize this as a top, and this is an entry. And what they would be looking for now, I think the way I would manage this if I were me, is I'd move my stop close to break even now and be hero or zero. I wouldn't add in this situation to the downside because this is clearly an entry up here. I wouldn't add to the downside because you don't know if it's a winner yet. So what I'd be thinking here is this, okay? And once we get sort of down into here, then I'd lock in some profit. But you remember as like for a weekly swing, because that's obviously a weekly swing, our target on this, it would be 83 and a half, I guess. Not quite 83 and a half. And here we are, 85 is your entry. So, for a CAD yen, that's only, it's not a lot of pips, but we're not in control of that. So, okay, there's an entry. Okay, and now we're looking for this and probably like that. Okay. Okay, and this would make the top of the false rally. Okay, anyways. Let's try to find another one. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's put this together. It's a little messy here. Okay, here's the big move I predicted at the beginning of January. Okay. Here's the end of that. Then we would call this the false rally. Okay, and now we're putting together sort of the end of the false rally, maybe, right? Meaning back into the range. Okay. Cool. And here's the whole top, all outlined, right? We knew like last week, for example, this is a basic swing trade setup for a counter trend, aka down, right? If you're not familiar with that. So now, if things go as they may, you have the lower low idea, this low, lower than this low, okay? Which then sets up a new low, potentially, right? Sets it up. We don't know if it'll happen. But that's what that says, okay? Generally, you should think of this as now as a giant range. Okay, a giant range is how I would look at this. What is the black line? Oh, that's the central pivot point. Okay. Cedric, don't get caught up on the third week idea. The third week is like, you can say in January 2021, okay, Cedric? In 2021, around the third week, you would expect a false rally. Does it have to happen in the third week? Is the second week okay? Is the fourth week okay? Okay? Because my concern is you stare at, let's say this. You stare at this in the middle of the second week and you ignore it because you're like, well, Wayne said a year ago it would be the third week. I'm like, you got to be a lot more flexible than that, okay? Right? You can see here, this is a Wednesday, and this is, I think, technically the third week, right? And I'm only 2 days off, but I gave you a year in advance to be ready for a false rally, right? A year ago, I said January is going to open straight down. And then by the third week, I expect a rally, but it's a false rally. It's not going to go up and up and up and up and up and up and up. But it's going to be a heck of a rally. Probably 100% retracement. That's what makes it a false rally. So then I'm saying after that, then it's going to do this. Well, look, I'm pretty accurate, right? Daniel says, Wayne, will the FX courses still be available in a year? Well, they've been there for 15 years, so I think so. Okay. Cool. Okay. So you got to be, these are like a strategy. When you develop a strategy for war, right? You don't say, well, this bullet goes into that bad guy and this bullet goes into that bad guy. You put together, right? It's very general, like we're going to come in at this time and at this place, and then we're going to get out and we're going to go over here. And then you still have to react to what's happening in real time. Those are tactics. You know how to aim and shoot your weapon. You know how to use everything else that you carry on your person. You know the right technique to kick down the door. You know how to not shoot civilians, right? And you have to make judgments on the fly. Trading is exactly the same. So when I say January is going to open straight down, and then around the third week there's going to be a rally, but it's going to be a false rally, and then potentially a counter trend back into a range, which are all things I have said. Now then you got to use the tactics as you go, right? So I'm only 2 days, I'm 2 days, the false rally was 2 days early this year. Right? So you can't say, well, the bad guy's over there and you said he'd be here. Well, he's over there now. Deal with it, right? So anyways, I don't know if it's a good analogy, but there you go. So, and this is a major, it's not, right? Of the yens, this is a big yen pair, right? Right? Cool. So what are you going to do next year? Okay? I'm just trying to challenge you to think ahead, right? Think ahead. So anyways, there we go. So in this process, in this week, what I'm now thinking, now, by the way, and maybe it was just with the swing trading group, but we had this all planned. Like I say, look, I don't know where this is going, right? Right? I don't know where this is going, but what I'm thinking, and this is what I'm telling the swing trading group, right? This has gone up and up and up for 2 weeks straight. That's cool. Right on. But my experience, which now can lead to the wrong assumptions and the wrong interpretation, but as an experienced swing trader, I've been in this place before, and I seem to have a lot of experience of it coming down. So even though many people might think it'll go up, and I said this year it might go up because we have full employment in the United States, companies making money hand over fist. Banks have never been this profitable before in history, right? Think of it. Multiple banks have never made so much money ever in their entire history. Even J.P. Morgan himself wasn't this rich, right? And yet the Fed is stimulating the economy. I said, look, I get it. This year might be different. This might just go up and up and up. So I said, don't plan on based on what I'm saying, because I don't know. I'm planning on what I'm thinking, but this year I could be wrong. So make your own decisions, right? But I feel like this comes down this time of month, or this kind of situation in January. Now, if this was June or September, I would plan it differently, right? Okay? Right? The second week of September, you'll see a double bottom just like this. Is that going to happen? Will we actually get a double bottom? Will it actually happen the second week of September? I don't know. But I'm ready for it, right? So it frames my thinking. Now, isn't it, right? When that's your thinking process, and I see this as a top, and I see this as a out of position counter trend off of a weekly target, and I say to myself, oh my God, this is the end of a false rally in January, I think down. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's what we talked about last week. Thursday of last week. Okay? So now I'm going to look for this. Why? Because all of that makes me, well, I can't say a bear, but at least in this time frame, bearish. Okay? No, it's way before repatriation. Right? This is way before repatriation. Okay. But that's good to bring it up. But no. I called it, well, this has to do with rebalancing. So if you go back to my discussions back in October, November, December, saying all of this is going to end right by the end of by Christmas, and by the first week of January this is going to come down hard, and then after coming down hard there's going to be a false rally up, and I explain this as portfolio rebalancing. Okay. Neurotic Trader says, what's the best way to find out about flow, money flow in and out of countries? Let's balance a trade. Okay? That's it. Balance a trade. But, I mean, it's sort of basic macroeconomics and like, for example, money should be flowing into Australia. Okay? Money should be flowing into Australia. So the question is it? And how much? What is normal? What should be flowing into Australia? So, right, you would look at the balance of trade, right? And then inside of that, you can look at what do you call it? I'm having a brain fart. But anyways, it still ends up balance of trade, or balance like a current account surplus and deficits and stuff. Okay, you Google all of this, by the way, if you're interested, right? But it's not what it is, it's what it should be, and whether we're deviating toward it or where we are into a good situation, we're deviating from where we are to a worse situation. Well, it's really more than that, okay? And it's not COT, no. COT has to do with money in the futures market in the United States. No, you got to think way bigger than that. So look at balance of trade and current account deficits. Okay. Neurotic Trader says COT won't give volumes. No, you're wrong. It is volumes. That's what it is. But Commitment of Traders report tells you specifically the number of futures contracts in the United States that are hedging the euro or speculating on the euro. It is volume. That is all it is volume. But volume of what? The money in the world going toward? No. Not the money, not the volume of money flowing around the world. How many US dollars are tied up in hedging, or let's just say futures contracts? So now you're talking about Americans using futures contracts to speculate or hedge against potential changes in currency valuations through an American exchange. But that doesn't say, well, what do the Europeans think? Right? What do the Germans think about the euro? What do the Japanese think about the yen? It doesn't, that's not commitment of traders report, right? So anyways, you need to learn, for example, what every economy does, what their balance of trade should be, right? And then drill that down to current account deficits or surpluses. Okay? And then where we are based on where we should be, and if we're going towards where we should be or away from where we should be. And then you drill into the central bank to see what they're doing about it. And that is now what is impacting the value of the currency. So if I lost you on all the other stuff like balance of trade, current account deficits, you're like, I've heard of all this, but this is way, way up here and I'm way down on earth. Well, just boil it down to the central bank is interpreting all of this. And they're adjusting their policy accordingly. So all you need to know is, what's the RBA going to do about the balance of trade in Australia, or the current account surplus or deficit that Australia has with its trading partners? If it's good or bad, what's the central bank going to do about it? It always comes just, well, what's the RBA going to do next? Are they worried about this? Yes or no? And if they are, what are they going to do about it? And if they do, how will that impact the currency? That's all it comes down to. The policy change, not even the current policy of the central bank. What kind of policy change would they recommend, or would they think about in a scenario like this? And when does the world interpret that they might implement that new policy? That's how you make money. Okay? But yes, you can drill it all. You can go all the way back. You can get into the weeds if you want. Okay? But most people are not ready for the weeds, right? To get dirty in the economics part. So if you want the simple version, what's the central bank? What's their next move? Not this week, the next meeting. We're never worried about now. We're always worried about the next. Okay? Cool. Neat. Kiwi. I guess we can do. Did we do Aussie already? Okay. Not sure. So let's talk about it. Beginning of January, there's going to be a big, nasty fall. Then there's going to be a false rally, and then pull back into the range. Okay? I explained this situation 9 months ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago. Well, I guess that doesn't count, but do I get to say I was right? Do I get to declare victory on this? Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Right? It's pretty accurate. Okay? Week 1, week 2, week 3. So I said week 3, you should look for the false rally. I'm sorry, it happened on Wednesday of week 2, so I'm off by 2 days. Okay? But I told you here, it would be down hard. And then by here, up hard. And then no higher high. Okay, I'm off 2 days. Sorry. 48 hours accuracy, 9 months in advance. Hey, you're welcome. Now here's what will really blow you away. Why didn't you trade it if you knew? If you had a crystal ball, why'd you miss it? Okay, so I'm showing you here, at least I'm trying to, right? That's the top we predicted 6 months earlier, and I took it. And the reason I took it here is to show you. Like, that's pretty good accuracy if you think about it. Look at the accuracy here. We're talking about, what is that, 3-4 pips accuracy? Right? And I didn't say 15 pips on this, right? I said very significant pullback, right? Look where it flipped, by the way. So here's my entry, right? And don't get caught on the idea of right. I'm not trying to show you I'm right. I'm showing you that we planned this in advance. Way in advance. So I'm trying to get your subconscious to believe, okay? I shorted an M3. Is that logical? If I thought I was a bear, even though this has been up for 16 weeks in a row, I was a bear. You knew that, right? Is that a logical, intelligent place for me as a bear to sell? And how good of a job did I sell? Off the M3 by what? 3 pips? That's not bad, right? Why didn't I take my 100 pips profit? Because I wasn't thinking 100 pips. What was I thinking? Down. All right, cool. Okay. Now, I have left this here because I want to re-emphasize, because here's what I find, and maybe it's not you, but I sense it all the time. The people they're stuck in this. They're stuck in what happened over the course of the last 4 to 8 hours. I'm trying to re-emphasize that 6 months before this, we talked about this, and it's still there. It's still important to the market. I'm trying to show you, like, there is a much bigger view of the market. Right? And yet, what if you're caught in here? And this is all you're analyzing is like what's happened over the last 12 hours. And that's all you see. Are you missing? Are you missing things? Okay. I don't know. I'm just trying to, right? So these are all markers. Okay? These are all markers to remind your subconscious where we were, how far back we have all of this, and I'm trying to wake up your subconscious mind to say, well, are you doing it? Right? Are you doing it? Because isn't that the bigger question, right? So right? If you only knew, you would be more successful, right? Then you say, well, if I was better at technical analysis, or if I had a better indicator, or if you had a crystal ball or a time machine, you would be successful. But the interesting part is, what if you had all of that? I'm trying to show you, you might have had all of that, and you still didn't do it, then what's the issue? I'm trying to say, not that you're wrong or bad or whatever. I'm trying to get you to focus on the behavior part of your trading. Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Right? Because if you had the crystal ball, let's say some of my trade plans were your crystal ball. Did you do it? Did you sell here? No. Did you sell here? No. Did you sell here? No. Then why? Why not? That I want you to ask your subconscious that, and I want you to work on that. Okay? It's kind of a slap in the face to yourself, but you need that, right? You need the awakening. We all need the awakening. I've taken myself through that process. It's a rude awakening. But you shouldn't be afraid. Okay? 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 Fear, right? Probably fear most of the time. Well, my crystal ball are my trade plans. Do I have a crystal ball? Yes, I do. It's my trade plans. Okay? If I don't have a trade plan for it, if I don't have a trade plan for it, it doesn't exist. Okay? Cool. All right. So if you were a bear, you'd be looking for a sell. Okay, there's your strategy. Drop into your tactics. Okay, and you got resistance up here. You got some support here. You got some chop in here. What would you do if you were a bear? Well, we know in the next 12 hours, you'd probably get short. Vanda says, I'm supposed to be there at the desk and pull the trigger. So here's the thing. This is why I'm going to take my swing trading group through day trading, because day trading doesn't require you to be at your desk at the exact moment in time. Okay? Day trading and swing trading are perfect entries into the Forex market if you have a job, or you simply don't want to be in front of your charts hours and hours and hours and hours a day. Okay? Pro Trader says day trading is complicated. I think you're thinking intraday trading. Okay? I'm not talking intraday trading. I'm not saying being at the chart 45 minutes before the London Open and then looking for something in particular. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Nope. Okay? That's a privilege. Most people don't have that kind of privilege. Okay? I'm talking about spending 20 minutes in a day, right, figuring out what to do tomorrow. Planning it, and you got it, and you're done. Okay? Yep. Daniel says, prefer the grinding. Here's what I think. Here's where I would like for you to be in like 5 years, right? You need to know swing trading, both monthly and weekly. You need to know day trading, okay? And you need to know how to intraday trade, which includes what? Market opens. You're going to need to know scalping, and what I call spot trading, okay? And then inside of the swing, not only do you need monthly and weekly, but then you're going to need to know carry. Okay? So in 5 years, you are amazing at monthly swings, weekly swings, carry trading, which is really a position trade. So maybe I'll take that off of swing. You enter it as a swing, but it's not logically a swing. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to add it as position trading. And the reason it's position trading, right? So you have carry, but remember, you're going to have clients. If you're going to run a fund, okay? Remember, amateurs think they're going to start a hedge fund and talk to a whole bunch of rich people and say, hey, look how good I am. Look how much money I can make you. And give me your money so I can make you rich. They don't even realize it doesn't make any sense. You can't talk to a rich person and tell them you're going to make them rich. It's so silly. But this is what people think, right? But you need to add some sort of value. You need to provide some sort of service. What can I do for you is the attitude, right? And there's a reasoning behind the logic or value that you're offering to them. So very often they could say, well, I'm overexposed to the euro because I do a lot of business there. Oh, I can hedge you. Okay? But these are positions. They're almost like products you sell to somebody. Okay? But there's a logic and reasoning. So someone says, or a client says, you know what? I hate the British pound because of Brexit. You're like, oh, that's really interesting. And then they're like, can you just sell the heck out of that for me? Yeah, I can do that. Can you do it well? Can you do it profitably? Yeah. Good. Do it for me. Great. Or they're going to buy a flat in London, but it's going to be 3 months before the whole transaction's done, and you're worried about the value of the pound going up, and now it's going to cost you more money, and you're like, it's already 10 million pounds. You don't want the pound to drop by 10% or go up by 10% over the next 3 months or whatever, right? Well, can you hedge it for them? But whatever, you need to know how to do these things. You can't just say, Kiwi versus CAD today is awesome. I guess I'll throw some money on that. That's not how it works, right? So anyways, 5 to 10 years from now, you should be really, really good at swing trading, long and medium term. And then within that, you're going to have to know like seasonality so you can plan some of these things weekly and monthly in advance. You need to know how to day trade. What's going to happen the rest of the day? Because if you can't day trade, intraday trading is going to be very surprising. Some days you make money, some days you don't. And you're like, why? Well, because you don't know how to day trade and you don't know how to swing trade. So you don't know what's happening this week or this month, yet alone the London Open for the day. Like, to know how to do the London Open, you probably need to know where we're going for the month and ideally for the day. Should you buy it or sell it? Oh, well, I don't know, so I'm going to do the London breakout. You notice how there's no London breakout here? Because that's for dogs with fleas eating their own feces. That's not trading. That's looking for a hook. That's looking for smoke and mirrors, a trick, a dog and pony show, a mirror house. That's not how to trade. Let everyone smart do whatever they're going to do, and then let's do that too after the fact. Like, this is just dumb. Okay? You need to know where we're going this week. You need to know where we're going this month. You need to know where we're going to today, because then you can start planning out today. Well, if Asia's up and then London might be down, then what's going to happen in New York? Well, it depends on where we are in the day, in the week, in the month. Okay? Intraday trading, you got to know how to spot trade. That's your market open. How far will it go? How long can you let it run today? Okay? And then scalping. Scalping's either good for picking up pennies, and sure, in front of a steam train, but, right? You pick up pennies, But you can make money if you're sitting at your charts. You need to know how to do these things because at the very least, you can scalp into your day trades. You can scalp into your swings, right? Because your entries are beautiful because you know how price action works. You know where support and resistance is, and you can get in really, really well. But then like positioning, this is like you need to know fundamentals. You need to know how the market works. You need to know long and medium term swings. If someone's going to say, can you do this for me? Yes, I can do that for you. Because I know how to be a foreign exchange trader. I know the logic behind things, both fundamentally and technically, where we are in these cycles. So someone says, hey, I do a lot of business in Japan, or I'm just exposed, or hey, can you get me China exposure without me investing into mainland China? Yes, sir, I can. I can do it through fundamentals. Great. Because if China's going to do this, these other things are going to do that, and I can get you exposure related to that fundamentals, but we might be trading the Aussie dollar, not the yuan. I like that. Can you do that for me? Yes, I can do that for you. Okay? But notice none of this is sit down and like make a bunch of trades and most of them are going to win and I can make a lot of money. You notice like that logic doesn't exist here in the reality, right? Did any of that make sense? You guys with me on this? You understand like there's bigger pictures than just like throwing down a scalp here? Right? You understand like this is a business? Each of these techniques are really like machines in your factory. Okay? Input, output, right? Well, your profit, your output, your pips are going to have to do with your input. Your input is your trade planning. Okay? Right? Crap in, crap out. Okay? Garbage in, garbage out. So maybe you'll take up the challenge. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making guys mad at me and all that kind of stuff. Am I making you mad? If you had a crystal ball and it told you the future and you mostly believed it, you're like, yeah, this is it's right a lot, but you still don't make money, then what is it? Are you using the wrong oscillator? Do you need to know Elliott wave? Right? You see that? What? Right? Again, it's here, I believe, that we need to work. Okay? How do I feel about it? Love them. I love the ABCD pattern. Love it. Ariel, love it. It's just a pattern. Yeah, great. Look, if you can consistently trade it, you'll do well. Okay? See, the thing is, guys, it's the consistency. How do I feel about it? First of all, I have no feelings. None. Right? I have as much feelings for the ABCD pattern as the ABCD pattern has feelings about me. None. But if all you did, Ariel, was trade the ABCD pattern over and 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 again, you will make money. Okay? Okay? Well, I didn't say stop thinking, right? I think all the time. There, right? But if all you think, if that's all you do is think, you're an analyst. Okay? So you should see here that somewhere around this price and this price, I want to get short. Okay? Cool. So now, what if I was looking for an ABCD pattern? What if I want a 1, 2, 3 pattern? What if I simply look for a whole bunch of dojis? What if I look for bearish engulfing candles? What if I look for morning stars or evening stars or, right? My favorite, right? The 3 pregnant nun pattern. If I sit here now and look for reversal patterns, I'll probably do okay. SF, excellent, Wayne. Even when I disagree with you, it helps me make money. Right on. Yeah, then that's cool, right? And that's where you want to get, Sev, where you have your opinion and you trade it. Whatever that opinion is, if you're good at trading, you'll be able to make money. It's the lack of idea that leads to poverty. Like, there's no way, right, Sev? If you disagree with me, then you have an opinion, a point of view, a bias. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to agree with me, and I don't have to agree with you. But if I look at your trading, I should look at your history and say, oh, I see what Sev's doing. All right, cool. Right on. Like, I don't think so. But, right? But the thing is, if you trade your bias, your opinion, you will make money. So how do you make money if you don't have an opinion, you don't have a bias? How do you trade profitably? You get very, very lucky for as long as you can. But it won't work long term. Sev says not only in trading, but life also. Yeah, I would say so. So here I am. This is what I would do if I were a Forex trader. I have an opinion, right? I think down. I know my prices in which I'm very interested. I could even throw down 84.50 as a maybe. I'll throw that down as a maybe. I got plan A, plan B, and plan C. Okay? Now, if my bias is correct, and what is the likelihood I'll make money if my bias is correct? Probably pretty good. Because my bias simply says no higher high, which will then lead to a new lower low. So now I say, where's resistance? So I'm using my technical analysis. Any form of technical analysis you want to use is good by me. Okay? But it comes down to this. If this is what's happening, then I will make money today. But that's tomorrow's plan, right? This is tomorrow. I'm planning tomorrow, bro. Tomorrow we will drop down to 84, probably 83.90. Okay? That is my plan. Is it going to do that? I don't know. What do you think, guys? Is it going to drop down to 84 tomorrow? 83.90? Well, I got my price. I don't know if it is, right? Daniel says, I don't know. Or he says it will. I don't know. Steele says no. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow. See, that's the thing. I don't know. But what does, okay? We know if I'm a bear, this is current price action. Okay? So, my plan for tomorrow is simply continuation of what's been happening. So what if it doesn't reverse? How much money do I lose if I don't get a reversal pattern in here? None. It just goes, it does this. Goes up and up and up and up and up. I don't lose any money. If it doesn't give me a reversal pattern, I don't sell it. You see what I mean? Pro Trader says small. No. If I don't get a reversal pattern, I don't get an entry. See? And I'll say, guess my bias is wrong. Okay? That's where I want you to be, guys. What if your client paid you to short the Canadian dollar? That represents a bias. Could I pay you money to sell the Canadian dollar? And could you do it? Now, of course, everyone here is going to say yes. I've been through this scenario with over a dozen experienced traders and they couldn't do it. It's kind of like saying, if you only knew the future, could you trade it? If it happened right in front of you, right? It's harder than you think. It takes this, okay? It takes this and your ability to create trade plans. So think of it this way. What would you do if I said, I will pay you $100,000 to be short the Canadian dollar, but you have to make money doing it, which means you can't just sell, right? That's what a dumb traditional hedge fund does. So a friend of mine, he's here in Atlanta. He's a billionaire, and he sells chicken parts, chicken meat, right? Protein. He sells protein all around the world. Okay, and he deals with something like 27 different currencies around the world. Okay, and he's got a company in Switzerland, and it does enough trading that they gave him a citizenship. They're like, hey, you're a Swiss citizen now. He's like, really? Cool. Why? Well, you've done more than, $2 billion this year, so we're just going to give you a citizenship. Cool. Right on. Right? But he's got a staff. Okay? And it's like 6 employees or something. Here's what they do. He says, I just signed a deal with a company in Canada. They're going to buy all our chicken meat, and they're paying us in Canadian dollars. But I'm worried by the time I get paid, the Canadian dollar loses value. And they're like, okay, sell the Canadian dollar. That's what a hedge fund does. They didn't even think about it. They didn't do any analysis, right? They're just like, oh, we'll hedge you. So we'll sell a futures contract, which means if the value of the Canadian dollar falls, they will make money, offsetting the losses they have in the cash market. But if the Canadian dollar goes up in value, they'll lose money in the futures market, but they're making money in the cash, so that offsets. So all they're doing is locking in today's price. Done. That's what a hedge fund does. An idiot can do it. Okay? What if your job was to sell the Canadian dollar but make money doing it? Which means if it's going up, don't buy it, but if it's going down, sell it and make money. Now you're smart about it. Could you do it? Only sell the Canadian dollar? Well, you would only sell CAD yen. You would only buy USD CAD. You would only sell CAD Swissy. You see what I mean? But now you can walk into the market. You know what you're going to do before you do it, or you're not going to do it. But that's a bias. Do you see what I mean? But that's a product you would offer to someone with a lot of money. There's where I'm trying to get you. Can you provide a value to a company or to a high net worth individual? Okay. Wayne, I'm selling my ski chateau or my ski chalet near what's the big one in Switzerland? It's like Unstag or something. Anyways, I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to pick up 20 million Swiss franc. But I'm worried by the time I receive the money, the Swiss franc will lose value. Therefore, I lose money when I convert it to dollars. Wayne, can you help me? I said, yeah, well, the great thing about Forex is it's highly leveraged. So we only need a small portion of cash right now to hedge your exposure to the Swiss franc. So if you're worried about the Swiss franc falling, I can do it. I can protect your money. I can pay for my services with profit and make you money on top of it. You'll come out ahead. I will protect you from the downside, and I'll put money in your pocket. Would you like to do this? Is that a good sales pitch? I'll protect you from the downside. We'll make money along the way. I'm going to put money in your pocket. I'm going to put money in my pocket. What do you think? Should we do it? Sounds like a good deal, right? Yeah. But can you do it? Challenge yourself. Can you do it? Okay. So I'd be sitting here like going back to the Canadian dollar here. If I wanted to sell the Canadian dollar, I would have to sit here and like, well, I don't have the right price. Maybe up here. Okay. Maybe up here. Okay. And I'm sitting here waiting. Should I do it now? No. Remember, I'm a bear, so I want this to fall. Should I sell it now? No. You can drop it into a 1 minute chart. Do you see how certain I am? Should I sell it now? No. Should I sell it now? No. Should I sell it 1 minute from now? No. 2 minutes from now? No. Because I won't have a reversal pattern in 2 minutes. There's no 2 minute reversal pattern that could possibly happen. You see what I mean? What would I need to see on this 1 minute chart that would prepare me to maybe sell it? Oh, I'd need to see, how about this? How about that? On a 1 minute chart, would you sell that? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, gee whiz, that's going to take 15 minutes. Yeah, I know, right? But the thing is, probably be more than 15 minutes. But the thing is, right? I'm not thinking picking up 20 pips here. Okay? I'm thinking this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Because that would be my bias, right? It'd be the same as if a client came to you and said, I'm worried about the Canadian dollar. I have a big oil deal, a big oil contract, but I'm not going to get paid for a while. I'm not going to get paid for 3 months. And I'm worried that the Canadian dollar even loses 1% value, because to me, that's $4 million because of the size of the oil deal. Every 1% decline represents $4 million lost. Can you help me? And I say, oh, for shizzle. Okay? Okay? So anyways, that's what I want you to start thinking about. Okay? I want you to really start thinking like a business. What can you do for me? I can make you a lot of money. Oh, Jesus criminy. Okay? Okay? You got to lift yourself out of poverty, this kind of poverty, right? You can't think poorly. I can make a lot of money. I can make a lot of money quick. I can make you rich. What is that? Okay? Okay? Learn your technical analysis, learn your fundamental analysis, right? And then once you know how to trade properly, then you need to turn it into a value, right? You're a service provider to ultra high net worth individuals or small institutional investors, traders, businesses and stuff, right? You're the same as a gardener. Does the gardener know what they're going to do today for their clients? Is the gardener thinking about getting rich quick? How about the maid? Oh, we're better than that? No, we're not. Someone cleans the toilets, right? Somebody blows the leaves. Somebody hedges the Canadian dollar. Okay? You can't get confused by it. But what if you can't hedge the Canadian dollar? All you can do is sell a get rich quick scheme. You're not on the right planet. Okay? How long do you think it would take to get to that? It could just take 10 minutes a day. Right? So, like, look at this. How long does it take? So, Stephen, if you learned one reversal pattern, how long does that take? One reversal pattern. Okay? Then the second point is, how long does it take you to flip a coin? No, I know. I know, Stephen. I'm getting there. I'm simplifying this to a gross level, but there's real value that I'm trying to add here. Okay? So there's 3 things we need. Okay? We need a trend. Well, first we need a bias. Okay? Here's how you do it. Okay? Flip a coin. No joke. Heads you're a bull, bears you're heads you're a bull, tails you're a bear on this pair. And let's say this is the only pair you ever trade. It's not ideal, but I'll take it. Or, no, you know what? I take it because in my book I say don't focus on one pair, focus on one currency. So we're doing the Canadian dollar here. This gives you, the yen, the Swissy, the dollar, and then other crosses if you want to do that. So that gives you like 20 options a day practically, right? No, more like 6 or 7 potential trades a day. Okay, great. But you flip a coin, it tells you if you're a bull in the Canadian dollar or a bear. How long did that take? 1 second. You're done. Bias is set. 2, is it trending in your favor? Okay? What mechanism do you want to use for that? You can use price action, or you can use market. And by market, I mean 21.55 cross. Done. How long does that take? Okay. And then 3, let's do it yet another color. 3, so now if you give yourself permission, because you know what your bias is, so, and you're going to trade in the direction of the trend. If you're a bear and this is trending up, you have no right to sell it. And you could go 3 weeks without a trade. Yeah, 3 weeks without losing money. That's better than most. Okay? So now, if it is trending in your bias, so you got your bias and that's down, let's say on this pair, and it's trending, you identify whatever methodology you want, it's trending. So let's say on an hourly chart or a 4-hour chart, whatever, you give yourself permission. 3, right, in this zone now, because if it goes higher than this, it's no longer trending. You see what I mean? So if it's trending, it will do this, or it's not trending. So now we're down to this, okay? So 3 is the pattern. Pattern. I don't even know what I spelled there. Anyways, there's the pattern. So now let's do this. Let's do this. Let me get my marker. Okay. We are going to look for patterns that look like this. Okay. Okay, great. 1, double top. Okay. 2, lower low. 3, lower high. Good. So 1 is the double top. 2 is the lower low. 3 is the lower high. Okay? So you will sell here. Okay? So now you do this. Okay? That happens or you don't trade. Now, let's say you do this over and over and over and over and over. Are you consistent? Yes. Are you in control? It does that or I don't trade. Do you think I will get really, 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 really good at this? Yeah, I'd be amazing at this. If all I did this was this for 1 year. Okay? It's all right, huh? Is it too complicated? I don't think so. Do you need all these oscillators? Or I don't have no oscillators here, but do you need all these tools? No, you don't need all these tools. You need to know if you're a buyer or seller, and you need to know this pattern. Right? You got this, right? And every time you're in this area, or this area, or this area, or this area, you're on a small time frame, like a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart, looking for your 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern. How many people can do this? So the big amazing, super interesting question is why don't you do it? Now it gets interesting. Like, there you go. Do that for 5 years, buy yourself a yellow Lamborghini. If that makes you happy, buy it. Get yourself a Rolex. You can sit on your desk doing nothing. Huh? It's a nice one, too. Look at that. Anyways. Yeah, now you'll feel like a real man. I feel like a real man. Right? Yeah. You see, no. John says you have to believe. No, you just have to do it. Just that's all you do. How much time does that take per day? Not a lot. You don't even have to figure out the bias. What's the bias? Now, why do I say flip a coin? Because you don't know when your client walks in your office whether they say they want to pay you money to buy the Canadian dollar. You don't know if they're going to walk in your office, pay you money to sell the Canadian dollar. It doesn't even matter to you. Okay? But what you're probably doing, because I don't know you, but what you're probably doing is random strategies, and you're probably not even good at executing the strategies. So every day you're throwing down something different. Every trade is practically unique. Okay? So you're random. Roll the die. Oh, I guess I'm going to do some sort of random pattern when you, right? And the market has so many variables that it's also practically random. So now it's your practically random trading with a practically random market, and you want consistent results. You're totally insane. A complete nut job. If that's what you think is going to happen, you're completely and utterly nuts. That you think you can take your random trading, throw it at a random market, and come out a billionaire. Get that giant yacht, all the girls in bikinis, like, oh my God, look at me, everyone's gonna love me. Boom. No, dude, you're deranged. Okay? Now, can you change the market so it's consistent? No, but you can change your behavior. Who's that aimed at? Oh, I saw a video once under like Forex Lifestyle or something, and it's like, look at me. Okay. So, anyways, it's just I'm amazed at the stuff that gets sold, but more importantly, the stuff that's bought. They're like, people. Is that what people think? Like, it's amazing to me what happened to just like it's like people want to be the hustler without the hustling, right? I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm a hustler, right? I've always been. I'm always working, I'm always thinking, I'm always doing things. I'm nonstop, 24 hours a day, nonstop entrepreneur. And then people go to school to get a degree in entrepreneurialism. I'm like, the fact that you're doing it makes you an entrepreneurial, right? But anyways, right? So like people want to be the hustler, but they don't want to hustle. Like being an entrepreneur like you and I, it's almost a curse. Right? Being an entrepreneur is a curse because you're always you're never at rest, right? Everything needs to be fixed. Everything should be done better, right? Everything's a letdown. But how could you be an entrepreneur, or how could you call yourself an entrepreneur, but you don't have a work ethic? How can you be a lazy hustler? Where are you out hustling? You're on the streets, right? Like, you're supposed to be doing deals, man, right? Like, you can't be a lazy hustler. You can't be a lazy entrepreneur. You can't be a lazy Forex trader, right? Right? I was at the mall with my daughter. I was buying her like a $19 hot chocolate from Godiva. And we're shopping at Christmas. And the guy in front of us, he's got he had a jacket, and it said, I can't remember what it said, but I interpreted it differently. And I told my daughter, I'm like, it should say get rich or die trying. And she's like, what? I'm like, it's a 50 Cent song. Now look, don't call me a racist. I brought up Kanye West, and I got told I was a racist. All right, I don't know anything about him or his politics. Apparently he likes Trump and everybody hates him. Whatever. Okay. Everybody loves 50 Cent. Come on, it's 50. Right? Get rich or die trying, right? But I love that attitude. Like, it doesn't say like, be a lazy hustler. You got to know, a hustler's hustle, right? But that's what entrepreneurs do, right? We work hard. We get our vision and we make it happen. Do you see yourself a successful Forex trader? Yes or no? Then die trying, right? Be extremely uncomfortable with your mediocrity if that's where you find yourself right now. Right? But it doesn't say get rich quick. Right? That's not what I'm talking about. Right? I love the idea of achieve your goal or die along the way. But there's no going back. Okay? I think it was Cortez that arrived in South America, right? It was like 25 men, 6 horses, 1 cannon, and they get off the boats, right? They get off the boats, they're like, look, it's El Salvador, woo, right? No, it wasn't even El Salvador. That was Columbus. Anyways, they're on their way to Mexico. What's the first thing that Cortez does? He scuttled the ships. And he said, look, boys, we are going to conquer, was it the Aztecs, right? We are going to conquer the entire Aztec nation in South America. We're Spanish. We're in Mexico. We're surrounded by Aztecs. They've lived here their whole life. We don't even know where we are at the moment. But we're going to get rich or we're going to die trying. They scuttled the ship. The only way to go home and see your wife and children again is to conquer the entire Aztec nation. Wasn't he a mass murderer? Sure. But he did a good job at his mass murdering. I'm not saying he was a good guy. I don't know if 50 Cent is like a role model for my children. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a world of lazy hustlers that, right? They're like, I'm a hustler, I'm a gangster, but I don't do anything. It's hard being a gangster. No, 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 right? It's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's hard to do anything. Success is hard. So what I'm saying is, you know, do you have the capacity to do what it takes to achieve your vision? So I explain, like, right, that I don't think time is the issue. Okay? I don't think that the technical tools on your charts are the issue. Maybe even predicting the future, I've showed you, isn't even the job. It doesn't lead to your success. Outsmarting the market is not what we do. Okay? So do you have what it takes to achieve your vision? That's what I'm asking. And is it going to be easy, right? Or are you going to right? Like in the words of 50, maybe it wasn't 50 Cent. Maybe it was Confucius. Get rich or die trying, right? Confucius says, get rich or die trying. Maybe it was Yoda, right? Die trying or to get the rich, right? I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter who said it. Are you willing to do whatever it takes? JP is like, no, I'm pretty sure it was 50. No, I know 50 said it. But yeah. Okay. So what do I mean? Like Cortez, yeah, he's a mass murderer. He also was pretty lucky to be carrying chicken pox with him. Okay. That's what, right? The other thing he did, by the way, is he went to all the farms. He didn't go right into town and find an army to battle. That would be the dumb thing to do. He went to all the farms and cut off one hand off of every farmer. So now the farmers, it took them significantly longer to farm, because remember, all wars happen when you're not farming, right? So now it takes you so long to plant your crops and harvest your crops that you don't have time for war. I mean, dude, you're going to starve to death if you don't, right? So that's what he did. He didn't kill all the farmers, because then you get it, right? So anyways, he just cut off one hand of all the farmers, and, you know, the guy was ruthless. So I'm not saying be ruthless with other people. I don't mean like be unethical. I don't mean like steal from people or lie from people or, you know, like robbing banks gets you money, but it doesn't make you successful, right? But it takes a certain person to say, when you land on another planet, the first thing you do is destroy your rocket ship and say, all right, we're going to make Mars work, fellas. Right? Like, anyways, it was, wow, it was really a really bold move. And so I've tried to simplify things. I've tried to show you technical analysis. I showed you, you know, we talked about, you know, do you need to know the difference between current account, you know, or current account analysis, let's say, and all this. Do you need to get in the weeds of all the different CPI, PCI, PCE, all these acronyms? No, no, we can simplify all of these things. Okay? And you can find success. But you have to have a vision for what you do. I also try to show you the right way to think of Forex trading and the right way to form it as a business and as a skill. I tried to show you the mathematical reasoning why planning works. I tried to show you the emotional reason why planning works. I tried to show you the psychological side of how planning protects you and how, right? But then also, it's this part that's in your way. So I'm trying to come at it from all these angles, because it's not your indicator and it's not your lack of knowledge or something. Can you sell at resistance as a bear? If you're a bull and the market's bullish, can you buy a dip at support? Okay? That's where I'm trying to get you. Can you do it? Okay? If you're a bear, that's the nicest thing you can hope for. Did you sell it? Why not? Okay? Anyway. Just trying to get you to fight for it. Okay? Just trying to get you to fight for it. I think you can do this. But we can get comfortable, right? What happens when you get comfortable is, a year goes by and you're still doing the same things. Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah, it is worth fighting for, right? I mean, think of it. I've always said that Forex will fund the things you want to do in life. Okay? You will find that Forex will fund the things you actually want to do. So maybe you'll get a bigger house and a faster car and a fancy watch. And then after that, then you're like, well, what do I do next? And now it can fund whatever you want. Okay? You want to start your own nonprofit? You want to support a nonprofit? All these different things. You know what everyone wants is money. So once you have money, you can do whatever you want. You can help whomever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can support. You can choose the winners and the losers. Find your best NGO, nonprofit organization, best organization, whatever you want. And you're like, you know what? I like you. Here's money. That feels good. You're going to find that feels good. It feels good. You're going to find, this idea that money doesn't buy happiness. I guess I understand that. It buys comfort. Okay? It takes care of your spouse and your children and your family members, right? And then your community and the organizations that you want to see succeed. All of a sudden, it's really taking... It does, right? It can. Imagine you're giving to all these people around you, making everyone around you more successful and potentially happy. Okay? Where the discontent often comes from is not the money. The discontent comes from, the fake dopamine. Right? Cocaine and whiskey and all these other things that you put into your body, and you're like, dopamine, but that's a fake happiness, right? But that's where the discontent comes from. But money is wonderful. You're like, I like you. Here's $10,000, right? Boom. You just made them really happy. You're like, oh man, that was so good. I love seeing them that happy. Okay? Money is interesting because that's what it can be. You're like, I can give it here. I can exchange it for that. You can do happy things with money. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but it does buy happiness, right? Yeah. So what if they blow the money? Then there's... They bought sadness. But was it the money's fault? No. I love money. Doesn't make me a bad person. I think money does great things. I think if you're a great person, but you have no resources, it's going to be very, very, very difficult. I didn't say it's impossible. Okay? But imagine you're a very good person and you had loads of money. Imagine all the good you can do. Does the money turn you into a bad person? That's a big debate. But what if you're just the world's greatest person and you have tons of money and you're like, you know what? Let's do this. And then let's do that. And let's all organize and let's take care of it. And let's do, money buys that. So anyways, Forex will fund whatever you want to do. You want to stick cocaine in your nose? Forex will do it. All right? If you want to finance an orphanage in the poorer town you used to live in, then money does that too. You choose. Okay? $100,000 in cocaine. Donation to the orphanage. Money is irrelevant. What is money? A store of value, medium of exchange, unit of account. There's nothing bad about any of that. Okay? Chris says, greed blows accounts. You shouldn't care about, right? Well, so what we're talking about is something different, right? Okay? Cocaine is a hell of a drug. I've never done cocaine, but let's say it brought you happiness. Dopamine. But then there's natural dopamine of helping out other people. Okay? Studies have shown that your ultimate happiness comes from helping other people. That's what leads to inner sustainable happiness. I've been doing these webinars for 15 years. I'm an addict. I'm completely addicted. But it's real dopamine. It's not cocaine. It's the real deal. So take whatever you want to do in life. I don't care what you want to do. Okay? The Prime Minister of New Zealand became Prime Minister of New Zealand because he was a successful Forex trader and had the money. He said, you know what? I'm fed up. I'm going to fix things. And I'm going to fund it with my Forex account. He was filthy stinking rich. Made all his money trading Forex. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to change the world. Done. He made a decision. Okay? So whatever you want to do, it's just going to be easier if you have money. So why don't you just do Forex? You understand? Let's just do Forex. Fix your money issues, whatever it is. If you need $100,000 a year, great. If you need $100,000 a month, great. Not a problem. Now what? What are you going to do next? What's your reason for getting up in the morning? You're my reason. Okay? What's your vision? You have to start there. Okay? Forex will just fund it. You're like, you know what? You imagine being sort of the philanthropist now and you just listen to elevator pitches every day, and they come in like, well, we're trying to put shoes on children in poor towns. Like David Pegler, someone mentioned here David Pegler. When he worked for me, one of the times he went back to Africa, he stuffed a suitcase full of flip-flops. Like, what the heck's going on here? He's like, oh, well, every time I go back to South Africa, I go and hand them out to children. That's David Pegler for you. I'm like, you what? He's like, yeah, I buy a whole bunch of child-sized flip-flops, and I just go home. When I'm home in South Africa, I just hand them out to children that need flip-flops. Boom. Do whatever you want. But imagine you heard stuff like that. You're like, okay, I'm going to go to the market. I'm going to make a couple of trades. I'm going to hustle. Going to hit the streets and hustle the money. No, you're going to hit the market, hustle the money. Boom, sold it off there. Boom, got money. Convert the money into shoes. Give them to people that don't have shoes. Next. Oh, well, we're going to give vitamins to children that don't have enough vitamins and they face blindness and stuff. Boom, how much do you need? 10 grand. I'll be right back. Got to make some moves out on the market. Boom. Got it. 10 grand. Here you go. Why? You have a skill. This will fund your flow. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? I need braces. Let me go to the market. I'll hustle it for you. Boom, 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 boom. Sold it off of there. Here it is. Got my money. Thank you very much. Here's your braces. Next. And by the way, the line never ends. Okay? The line never ends. This is why you need a skill. And you need the capacity, the discipline, the work ethic to carry it out. Okay? Ariel says, you seem to surround yourself with awesome people. You know what? It's amazing because back when I think of my early days in the 90s, my friends and I lived the normal life that all young people do. Okay? And the vast majority of my friends they're actually a little younger than me, but let's say about my age. They're in their mid-40s and they're done. They don't work anymore. They're all retired, multi-millionaires, but they didn't have the money back then. It's just amazing. Like, oh yeah, he's retired and millionaire. This guy's retired a millionaire. This guy's retired a millionaire. This guy married a woman who's now a millionaire. Right? Like, and go through, like, this guy's a millionaire. Like, it's amazing, right? So it must have, I don't know, there must have been something in the juice, but we all drank it. So anyways, yeah, but you're surrounded with, we're surrounding each other, right? I surround you every day. You surround me every day. It will rub off. You are an entrepreneur. Otherwise, you would hate everything I've been saying for the last, I don't know how long I've been talking, 2 hours? People would leave in about, 5 minutes, like, this guy's an idiot. And they leave. Oh, this guy is talking about himself again. And then they leave. Or if you're an accountant, you're like, this is too much for me. I don't believe in this hocus pocus. Okay, cool. And they leave. But for some reason you're still here. You're an entrepreneur. And you know I'm speaking the truth. Well, what I'm saying, Daniel, is I bet you 600 people have come through the webinar. 200 are still here. Right? Because they're like, this is amazing. But this is who I'm speaking to. I can't speak to everybody. But I'm speaking to you. We're changing your life. You and me are having a real impact. We're changing your world. The entire world in which you exist is being changed. and you're willing to fight for it. You're willing to do whatever it takes. Blood, sweat, and tears for years is what I've promised you. How long does it take? Blood, sweat, and tears for years. Okay? How long does it take to get a macroeconomics degree and, right, macroeconomics bachelor's degree and a master's in the management of finance from Harvard? How long does that take? 5 years. How long does it take you to become a successful Forex trader? 5 years. 5 easy years? No. Blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, self-doubt, on the ledge 3-4 times, but you keep coming back, you keep fighting, you get knocked down, you stand up and you fight harder. Sometimes just to see if you'll die. You sign yourself up for pain because you're like, I keep living. I'm going to find success or I will find my limit because I've died. Is that what you got? Let me tell you, when I get that second degree up there, it was pretty close several times. But I'm a confident son of a gun. Why? I haven't found the limit to my capacity. I got a little more. I got to try harder. I need to do something more amazing. Do that, right? But that's what I want you to do with Forex. We'll figure this Forex thing out in like 5 years. And then what? Then we'll do the hard stuff. Do you understand? Selling at resistance in a downtrend will take you 5 years, but it's not the difficult part. Now you got to turn it into a business. Now you got to deal with accountants and lawyers and regulators. You got to start a business. You got to have plans and disaster recovery plans and disclosure documents. And you got to create PowerPoint presentations and go on road shows, meet with media, meet with potential clients and close deals. And at the same time, trade Forex. Where you're like, well, damn, that sounds like an 80-hour-a-week job. Yeah, but on the weekends, you get to be on yachts with girls in bikinis. If that's what you want to do, your money will flow it. Because it's just money. That's your vision. By all means. If you'd rather fund the children's cancer ward, by all means. You like the symphony? Fund it. Because you can always go to the market. See, my logic here is you can always go to the market and make the money because you have a legitimate skill and you can repeat it over and over and over again. Yes, the market is random, not quite, but it has so many variables, it's hard to predict. But you're very skilled at doing very things and you do it consistently. Right? Beauty in, beauty out, not garbage in, beauty. And you can go back to Forex and go back to Forex and go back to Forex and go back to Forex. There it is. $5 trillion a day. You can make money at this. Okay? You can make money. $5 trillion a day are flying right over your desk. Now, you can grab some here and there. No one's going to miss it. How much is that car? Oh, I got it right here. It's in the air, man. It's right in the air. Oh, look. Nike is sending money back to their headquarters from overseas. Look at that. I can just grab some of it as it flies over. Not a problem. Fund it. But you got to be worth it. Okay? Are you worth it? Well, how do you get worth? Value. How do you get value? You can offer something to somebody else. It's not sitting down and playing Forex like you're playing Fortnite. There's no value. Okay? Value doesn't live on a 1-minute chart or a 5-minute chart and picking up 25, 30 pips at a time. No, nope, nope, nope. So anyways, I've taken a lot of your time today. We tested the short videos and you said, Wayne, I want long videos. Now you're probably saying, Wayne, I wish you showed the Kiwi CAD. Well, this is what we did today. I hope you appreciated it. I hope I was speaking to you. So I heard you. I hope you heard me. And I hope you take it to heart, and I hope it leads to your success. Let's get this, Forex thing fixed 5 years or less so that you can do the more interesting things. Right on, Gary. Remember, Gary, there's only 2 things that matter when you go pro. How much money you start with, right? And how much time? When will you end? Because risk, right, is constant. In fact, over time, if you're doing it right, risk will get lower and lower and lower and lower. So you need to look at it as a mathematical formula. The only thing that dictates how much money you make is how much you started with and when you end. Okay? Don't cheat time. Don't add leverage to get it faster. You want the math to work. E equals MC squared. You can't cheat that or it doesn't work. You can't cheat the time factor. You can't cheat the money factor. I'll just leverage up 1 billion to 1, put a giant lot size and make a whole bunch of money quick. You will lead yourself to poverty. Money in, over time, it compounds, it grows in very predictable fashion. The most powerful force in the universe, according to Einstein. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Please go to tradersway.com, open a demo account today.